top new details in the Spotsylvania deputy shooting of an unarmed black man. Isaiah Brown is still in the hospital tonight, and now people rallying together calling for justice.
It comes as we hear the 911 call and see the body camera footage. Natalie Rubino is live in Spotsylvania tonight, where this all started with a report of a domestic dispute.
Yeah, Isaiah Brown called 911 at around 3 in the morning on Wednesday during a fight with his brother. On that call, he said he was going to kill his brother. He
said he's going to what his brother? He said he's going to kill his brother? At this point, they're starting to treat us like children. Like, no matter what we do, we always the victim. And we need these white people out there with their hands raised protest with us every time. This stuff been happening for years. You never heard about it. I bet 3 white people was killed yesterday by the police. You ain't gonna hear about it. I'm tired of hearing about these cases, man. Why can't somebody just get shot and we don't know about it by the cops? Like back in the day. When people used to get shot by the cops and you didn't hear about it. Let's go back to those days.
Natalie Rubino is live in Spotsylvania tonight, where this all started with a report of a domestic dispute.
Yeah, Isaiah Brown called 911 at around 3 in the morning on Wednesday during a fight with his brother. On that call, he said he was going to kill his brother. He wandered outside. Minutes later, a deputy arrived. Seconds after that, shots were fired, and Brown was on the ground in a pile of blood. A warning for you, this video is hard to watch.
Show me your hands! Want a gunpoint? Show me your hands now! Show me your hands! Drop the gun!
A Spotsylvania sheriff's deputy tells Brown to put his hands in the air. It's unclear from the video if Brown listens, but the deputy continues to give the order.
He's got a gun to his head. Drop the gun now! Stop walking towards me! Stop walking towards me! Stop! Stop!
About 20 seconds into the encounter, the deputy fires his weapon. You can hear at least 7 shots. About 30 seconds after the shots were fired, the deputy walks over, turns off his body camera, and gives Brown medical aid.
Now, for the record, the guy survived due to the medical aid that the officer gave him. No one talks about that. And I did a video on this, I think about a year and a half ago. How many black people would be dead if officers didn't do chest compression, CPR, compress the wound, tie tourniquets around wounds, and all manner of first aid. Cops save thousands of black lives every year. And that's not an exaggeration, because look, I mean, 1,000 people have been wounded in Chicago already this year. Just Chicago. About 600 in New York. About 800 in Philly. Just those 3 cities. You've got almost 2,500 people wounded. Already, it's April. Extrapolate that across the entire nation. Camden, Yonkers, every little town, everywhere. New Brunswick, Des Moines, every little town. Think of every little town. And cops is the ones on the scene. Even when I'm talking about not when they shoot you, but when you're shot. And they the first ones on the scene. They giving chest compressions to some bloody, bleeding Negro they never met before in their life. They giving CPR. They swimming in blood of some nigga they ain't never met a day in their life. Trying to save their lives. So yes, this cop did shoot this guy for no reason other than the fact that he was black. But he did save his life too. And that needs to be commended.
You can hear at least 7 shots. About 30 seconds after the shots were fired, the deputy walks over, turns off his body camera, and gives Brown medical aid.
Saying 911, what is the address of your emergency?
This is audio from that initial 911 call that Brown made during a fight with his brother.
Give me the gun. I'm about to kill my brother. Do you have a gun? Yeah.
The family says Brown suffers from mental health issues. We spoke to the brother Brown was arguing with. He said his brother was not armed and the officer had no reason to shoot him.
I know he didn't go outside trying to make a big of a deal. He got shot 10 times.
Hey, the first thing.
A group of activists held a march near the sheriff's office Friday where Sheriff Roger Harris made a statement but would not answer questions.
I support you. I support the cause. When you see the video, the deputy actually saved this gentleman's life.
Deputies dressed in riot gear waited indoors. After a small argument broke out in the crowd, the sheriff ran back inside and chain-locked the doors. Now, Virginia State Police are investigating this shooting. They have confirmed to us that Brown was not armed. What's unclear here is how many shots were fired. The Brown family says 10. The sheriff's office says that is not true, not 10, multiple. We heard 7 in the video.
Yeah, Natalie, have the deputies ever had any prior interactions with Brown?
Yeah, it's interesting, Jim. Actually, a few hours before this, Brown's car broke down, and that same deputy picked him up and drove him home. His brother told us that. The sheriff's office told us that. His brother says this deputy, knew Brown from taking him home, at least on that car ride. So he says, why did he have to fire so many shots at him? Again, all of that still unclear. It is.
We asked so much of the... This brother car broke down. He called the police for a ride home. Earlier that day. Police give him a ride home. Niggas is using the police like Uber, man. And we supposed to be scared of the police. Black people quake in their shoes and shiver and tremble at the sight of a police officer. As a black man in America, when I see a cop, I'm frozen with fear. Why this nigga ain't just call an Uber? Or Lyft? He called a guy, 911. What's your emergency? I need a ride. It ain't came like some jackasses. Police, stop doing that. Leave these niggas alone. Stop responding to them. Then you take the dude home, get him do the rally. He call you back a few hours later. I'm about to kill my brother. Come on, man. I just gave you a ride home. And the dumbass police come up there again and shoot him for no other reason than the fact that he hate black people and Isaiah's a black man and God dog.
State police are investigating this shooting. They have confirmed to us that Brown was not armed. What's unclear here is how many shots were fired. The Brown family says 10. The sheriff's office says that is not true, not 10, multiple. We heard 7 in the video.
Yeah, Natalie, have the deputies ever had any prior interactions with Brown?
Yeah, it's interesting, Jim. Actually, a few hours before this, Brown's car broke down, and that same deputy picked him up and drove him home. His brother told us that. The sheriff's office told us that. His brother says This deputy, knew Brown from taking him home, at least on that car ride. So he says, why did he have to fire so many shots at him? Again, all of that still unclear. It is pretty clear in the video that officer thought Brown was armed, but there was an initial encounter with police before this incident when Brown's car was broken down on the side of the road.
All right, Natalie, thank you very much.
There is breaking news tonight. New video of yet another police officer shooting an unarmed black man, this time in our community. This is Isaiah Brown. He is alive and in the hospital after a deputy shot him several times early Wednesday morning. It happened in Spotsylvania County, Virginia. Tonight, the Spotsylvania County Sheriff released the body camera video and about 8 minutes of 911 audio, and we've...
Is that really our community? That's a long goddamn way from our community. By that logic, Baltimore is our community. Geez, the Eastern Shore is our community. And that's a long way from D.C., Jack. All right, fine. If that's the DMV, fine.
After a deputy shot him several times early Wednesday morning. It happened in Spotsylvania County, Virginia. Tonight, the Spotsylvania County Sheriff released the body camera video and about 8 minutes of 911 audio, and we've got to tell you, we are still left with a lot of questions. You may be too after seeing it, and this also may not be for everybody. Adam Longo is here to walk us through what the video and the audio reveals. Ads?
So, Leslie, the video is dark. The officer is yelling about a gun. We know Isaiah Brown is the one who called 911. In fact, he's still on the phone when shots are fired. Because of that call, we are able to paint a little more of the background picture of the lead up to this. Now, many of you may find this traumatizing to hear and to watch, so please proceed with caution. We are not going to play audio or show the actual shooting. I am going to play a few clips edited together from the 911 call and then show you the officer's body camera footage in the immediate moments before the officer opened fire.
Isaiah, what's going on? My brother won't let me get in my mom's room. Okay, and why is that an emergency? Why is that an emergency? Because I can't get to my car. Your car was towed. What is the problem? I'm about to kill my brother. You don't kill your brother. No. Do you have a gun? No. Do you have a gun on you? No. You need to hold your hands up. Hold your hands up.
Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Want a gunpoint? Show me your hands now! Show me your hands! Drop the gun! He's got a gun to his head. Drop the gun now! Stop walking towards me! Stop walking towards me! Stop! Stop! It was 3 minutes and 3 seconds between the 911 operator answering that call and the officer opening fire. What you saw there at the end was the entire unedited interaction from the moment the officer got out of his car and yelled to Isaiah right up to when he was shot. The officer almost immediately begins to render life-saving aid. Leslie?
You know, Isaiah survived this, and even with this video, there's no aha moment that clearly shows us what happened, and a lot of us watched this video tonight, frame by frame.
Yeah, exactly, and that's going to be up to investigators to piece everything else together with that video, with the 911 call, with witnesses, with the officer's statement. They'll plug all of that together. Virginia State Police told us today that Isaiah Brown didn't have a gun. They have taken over the investigation, Virginia State Police, and a special prosecutor has been assigned.
So he didn't have a gun. So he had something that looked like a gun, right? Because the cop obviously kept telling him, show him his hands, drop the gun. And the cop wouldn't have done that unless he had something in his hand that appeared to be a gun. After calling them and telling them he was going to kill somebody, and then telling them that he had a gun. So if you call the police and tell them you're going to kill somebody, they ask you, do I have a gun? You say yes. The police show up, you got something in your hand that looked like a gun. Why does people act like they can't understand how how this could possibly. I get it. If he didn't have a gun, then obviously, yeah. But I guess a mistake was made. But if you, it's like you tricked the cop. You tricked him. You tricked them, man. I'm about to kill somebody, got a gun. Oh, I ain't had no gun. See, that's not a gun, that's a cell phone. Like, what the hell is wrong with me? And we supposed to be scared of the police. What's wrong with niggas, man? Hit that like button, hit that PayPal, hit that Cash App, hit that Super Chat. Something is really wrong with us, man. And I know this guy got mental health issues and all that crap, but this is like I tell you, mental health issues ain't everything. This guy's normal. How come he ain't do this the other, 30,000 days he been alive? How come he just did this day? This could be just, I mean, god damn, like, everything niggas do is mental health. Like, this nigga just did this shit, man. It's frustrating. Because I got to hear how everybody's scared of police, and I don't know one that is. Black people are scared. I don't know one.
With witnesses, with the officer's statement, they'll plug all of that together. Virginia State Police told us today that Isaiah Brown didn't have a gun. They have taken over the investigation. Virginia State Police and a special prosecutor has been assigned.
Yeah, there's still a lot more to learn about this. Ads, thank you. Within the last hour, we heard from Isaiah Brown's family. John Henry is covering that for us.
The family of Isaiah Brown has many questions about what happened on this Spotsylvania County road. In a statement released Friday evening, Brown's attorney, David Haynes of the Cochran firm, said this was a completely avoidable event in which the deputy made multiple basic police errors violating established protocols. Haynes went on to say Brown told dispatch he did not have a weapon and that at the time of the shooting, the officer mistook a cordless house phone in Brown's hand for a gun. He said his client never threatened the deputy. This comes after locals pushed authorities to release body cam video of the incident. Mo Petway, president of the local NAACP chapter, worked with the sheriff's office to make it public. He said the community needs transparency.
Video sort of narrows down and give you an opportunity to see for yourself. It's important to get out so people can see exactly what happened.
Before the body camera footage was released, Spotsylvania County Sheriff Roger Harris addressed locals about what they might see. He pointed attention to the deputy's actions after the shooting occurred.
When you see the video, the deputy actually saved this gentleman's life.
The sheriff says the deputy involved in this case is on administrative leave. John Henry, WUSA 9.
In the meantime, new dash cam video out tonight shows the arrest of a state lawmaker. His name is Jewel Jones.
He was arrested for drunk driving and resisting arrest. This was after a crash on I-96 near Fowlerville. It happened earlier this month. Now, in the video, you can hear the Inkster representative mention his position in the legislature and also the governor.
I'll call Governor Wilson right now. Just let me get up on state rep. I'm going to give it to you.
The video captures police taking him down to the ground as they continue to struggle with him, as you can see.
Now, that old, looking like Kim Kardashian grandmother, that old Kim Kardashian looking chick, she told a little bit of a, let's just say she stretched the truth a little bit. They didn't really take this guy to the ground. They tried to arrest him and try to get him. They tried to get him in the ambulance or get him into the police car or something. They're trying to get him detained. And he's fighting, and then they all fall. So it's not really like, and they're on a hill. You know how the side of the highway be, that slope and that grass. It's not really like what she said. They took him to the ground. Like, they tried to arrest him. He resisted, and they all fell. You got two guys struggling with this guy. Something that it shouldn't take nobody. It should take one person. The cops should be able to just put your hands behind your back. It's two guys wrestling with him. He's struggling. They all fall. She reports he was taken to the ground. hate these people, man. Hit the like button, hit the PayPal, hit the Cash App, hit the Super Chat.
I'll call Governor Williams right now. Just let me get up on state rep. I'm going to give it to you.
The video captures police taking him down to the ground as they continue to struggle with him, as you can see there. Now, according to a police report, troopers had to use a taser and pepper spray to get him under control. At one point in the video, the 26-year-old is heard telling police to call Joe, likely the name of Colonel Joe Gasper, the head of Michigan State Police.
Joe, who you have? Joe, who you have? Handcuffed. Okay? Yeah? Don't know you have me handcuffed. Let them know that I would like to go home.
Police say Jones had a blood alcohol of 0.19. That's
Why all these dudes look sweet, man? It is a damn state representative, man. This is completely unacceptable, man. Behavior, man. Detroit, a city in shambles, a city of ruins. You ain't never supposed to have no time to be drinking and driving. You supposed to be working, writing, doing something pertaining to the people of Detroit. You out drinking and driving, man. And fighting with cops. This shit is reprehensible. Even if the city was doing great, this is reprehensible behavior. But then the city's in shambles. It looks like a city in a third world country. And you got the representatives doing this. 2 times the legal limit.
Police say Jones had a blood alcohol of 0.19. That's more than twice the legal limit. The Livingston County prosecutor says State Rep Joel Jones was driving drunk and resisted arrest during an incident last week along I-96.
Today, Jones made his first appearance in court to be arraigned on those charges. Let's get to Priya Man, who's following this. Priya is facing a felony count here.
Yeah, that's right, and he's facing more than 2 years in jail, slapped with 8 charges. Prosecutors say several drivers called 911 the night Jones was allegedly driving drunk.
Several drivers called 911, and by several they mean more than 2, because if it was 2 they would have said 2. So they trying to protect them off the break. Several, probably 7 or 8 drivers. You gotta be doing something crazy to be on the road and people just calling 911, man. Yo, it's a driver out here that's just imagine what it takes, because we've all been driving on the highway. We're all adults. At least most of us here are adults. I don't think I got any kids watching me. Up and down the highway. Think about the hours you've been on the highway. Think about the times you ever like, damn, I gotta call the police on this one. This some next level, man. Hold on. Hey, police. It's a dude. And for several to do that to you in a lifetime would be crazy. But this is one trip, one stretch of road, and he got people just calling 911 left and right. Think about that. How reckless and irresponsible this brother was behaving, putting his constituents' lives in danger. And we gotta hear about. Somehow this gonna be some racial thing by the end of this. By the end of all this, it's gonna be something racial. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the PayPal, hit the Cash App, hit the Super Chat, take the $5 challenge. It's going to be something racial where he did wrong. If he was a white representative, they would have done that. This is absolutely, of course it's criminal. I mean, he facing 2 years in jail, but God, this is ridiculous. I just can't. I've never known anybody who's ever called the police on somebody who's driving. It's another driver. Like, yo, police, you need to come get this driver. He doing such a bad job driving that I need to get on my cell phone while I'm driving and call the police and tell them to come get him. I never seen that on the highway. Never seen that. Never known nobody who did it. Never thought to do it. And they just gonna gloss right over that.
Yeah, that's right, and he's facing more than 2 years in jail, slapped with 8 charges. Prosecutors say several drivers called 911 the night Jones was allegedly driving drunk. Prosecutors also say police found a .40 caliber gun in the cup holders of Jones's car. Now tonight, we're learning new information about what led up to this arrest.
Your Honor, the defendant's behaviors were reported to be so serious that they had escalated to a point that the troopers had to tase and pepper spray the defendant.
Livingston County prosecutors say State Rep Joelle Jones became combative and confrontational with state troopers and a paramedic after allegedly driving drunk and crashing his car.
The allegations in this matter include the defendant driving recklessly on I-96 while extremely intoxicated, Your Honor.
Prosecutors say Jones's blood alcohol content was more than twice the legal limit, also known as super drunk. It's alleged
my man was super drunk. And I don't want to make this a black thing, like, oh, this brother. But say he could have gotten, the police pulled the taser. What if the police, pepper spray and taser, what if they had reached to it would have been the wrong thing? Now you got a black state representative from Michigan dead. And could you imagine the uproar we would have had over that? If y'all did this, all this over a damn jailbird dope fiend and George Floyd, who would have robbed half of y'all if y'all would have ever been in a place alone with him. I ain't even gonna lie. If the police would have shot and killed this brother, I would have wanted, I'd have been like, nah, we gotta protest for this. Y'all just turned the world upside down over a junkie who would have robbed all y'all. 90% of y'all. I ain't even gonna say half of y'all. 90% because it's very few people that could deal with a 6'5" dude with a gun. 6'5", 260-pound legit street guy. Even though George Floyd was a junkie and a dope fiend, he was a legit street guy. Like he official tissue. So like, yeah, let me tell you, 90% of us couldn't deal with him if he wanted it. Y'all would have to protest on the moon. I had to be Black Lives Matter Mars. Destroying Mars, even though it ain't no buildings on Mars, just destroying it. You kidding me? We had that Black Lives Matter scuba team just going, destroying all the coral reefs, looting all the coral reefs. For a state representative get shot by a cop and killed? Even I'd be like, man, I don't agree. I believe the dude is a jackass and an idiot and he deserved it. But hell, if we did all that over a dope fiend, we gotta do this shit over a state representative.
The allegations in this matter include the defendant driving recklessly on I-96 while extremely intoxicated, Your Honor.
Prosecutors say Jones's blood alcohol content was more than twice the legal limit, also known as super drunk. It's alleged Jones drove from Southfield to Fowlerville, where he crashed his car in a ditch. Prosecutors say Jones became uncooperative when paramedics tried helping his passenger, who was in need of treatment. That's when police were called.
It was further reported the defendant continued to be confrontational, uncooperative, and insistent on referring again to his status of importance by flashing badges rather than producing the identification that law enforcement officers were requesting of Mr. Jones.
State Rep Joel Jones was elected in 2016, representing Inkster and other portions of Wayne County. He's a senior deacon, an active member of the National Guard, and an auxiliary police officer in Inkster.
Happy to be alive.
On Thursday, Jones posted this story on his Instagram account, where he has more than 40,000 followers.
We have our good days, we have our better days. As long as we got life, we got a chance.
And the 26-year-old was given a $15,000 personal bond, which means
This Negro is 26. A 26-year-old state representative, and he done been in there for like 4 years already. What, this affirmative action or something? Y'all thinking I need to go give me a shit? They done spiced up the affirmative action shit. What the hell? We live in the twilight zone, man. Literally, we live. He acted like a 26-year-old. Okay. So, he just acted like a 26-year-old dude on the street. I wonder what he was bumping on his radio. Some Kodak Black or some Pooh Shiesty or something. He's 26 years old. State representative. The hell is going on in this country?
State Rep Joel Jones was elected in 2016, representing Inkster and other portions of Wayne County. He's a senior deacon, an active member of the National Guard, and an auxiliary police officer in Inkster.
Happy to be alive.
On Thursday, Jones posted this story on his Instagram account, where he has more than 40,000 followers.
We have our good days, we have our better days. As long as we got life, we got a chance.
And the 26-year-old was given a $15,000 personal bond, which means he didn't have to post any money tonight. He can't drink and has to abstain from drugs and submit to random drug and alcohol testing. Reporting live tonight, I'm Priya Man, Purple 4.
Okay, so this brother's an auxiliary police officer. He a thug, he a police officer, he a state rep, he a kid. Hit the like button, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, link in the description. Subscribe to all my channels. I just don't know what's going on in this country, man. I don't know what's going on in this country, man. Peace. I'm out.